Good morning. Hello. Good afternoon. Good evening. I don't know what time it is when you're watching this video. Whatever time it is. Hello. Welcome back to Laced with Dreams. Today I want to talk about enlightenment and what that means. And I want to make a distinction. I want to... part of the point of making this video is because I want to avoid confusion. Now I want to start off with saying that everything that I'm about to say in this video, and everything that I have said in my previous videos, and everything that I'm going to say in my future videos, is all my personal perspective and opinion. Is all through my studies of speaking with people of different cultures, reading different texts, listening to different lectures, having my own personal experiences. All of the things that I have said, am saying, and will be saying in the future are my own personal perspective and experience and opinion. Just like 99% of things ever. So I just wanted to get that out of the way. So I want to make a distinction about enlightenment, what that means, and I want to avoid confusion among my viewers. So the first thing that I want to say, and this may be confusing in some regards, but the first thing that I want to say is that if you are talking about enlightenment, if you are trying to explain it, you are not currently enlightened. I, right now, as I am speaking, am not in a state of enlightenment. That is because the experience of enlightenment is something that can truly only be experienced when you are not seeing things from the perspective of your own individual ego. I believe that I have experienced spiritual enlightenment. I believe that I have experienced Nirvana. Saying that, this is the thing. Saying that at the same time is egoic. In its essence, in its nature, that phrase, that statement that I just made is egoic. And I want you to know that I understand that. And that enlightenment, when it is experienced, is something that does not stay with you if you continue to live a normal day-to-day life, which is good. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. That is not a bad thing. It is not a bad thing that enlightenment does not stay with you as you go back to living your normal day-to-day life. That is not a bad thing. It is something that leaves you with a memory. It is an experience. Just like everything is an experience. And so you are left with a memory of something that you have experienced, and you are only able to speak about it in words. But particularly with the experience of enlightenment, it cannot be put into words because inherently enlightenment is beneath the surface of words. It is beneath the surface of concepts, labels, and meanings. They talk about this a lot in Zen tradition, where they talk about experiencing direct reality. You're experiencing reality in its most direct and unaltered form, which means that you were experiencing it without words, and you were experiencing it without attaching meaning or definition or labels to it. And that is what it means to be spiritually enlightened, is that in the moment that you are experiencing spiritual enlightenment, you are feeling as though your existence on this planet is not bound by meanings, concepts, distinctions, labels, or any form of individuality. And so you have experienced a complete integration with your environment and with everybody around you and with everything around you. This can be described in many ways, but no description is going to fully explain it to somebody in a conceptual manner that they are able to fully integrate and understand. And even now, as I am saying this to you, the fact that I am looking into a camera and saying this to you is bringing me out of spiritual enlightenment and turning me back into my individual self so that I can speak these words. Now, it is very important to note that enlightenment is not something that is necessary for you to continuously experience. That is because to continuously experience enlightenment would require you to stop functioning as an individual in society. So if you wanted to continuously be an enlightened individual, you would be much like the Buddha, who was sitting under the tree and the fig tree and not talking to anybody and not eating anything, and you would have to be that way indefinitely, probably until you died, which is something that happens sometimes, especially in Hindu cultures. Maybe not so much now, but it definitely did in the past. If you read Be Here Now by Ram Dass, Richard Alpert, American psychology professor, I believe psychology professor turned Hindu guru in the 60s, was part of the responsibility for the hippie movement in the 60s. He talks a lot about the Hindu practitioners that he knew when he went to India that had basically meditated for so long and been outside of their body for so long that they eventually just passed away. Now, it is not necessary for us to do that. And why is it not necessary? The reason is because if everybody was a monk, if everybody was some sort of spiritual leader, if everybody was always enlightened, there would be no reason for there to be enlightenment. And I will touch on that a little bit farther in another video that I'm going to do about the concept of duality, which is yin and yang, and we will talk about that. But in today's video, I want to talk about why it is both easy and impossible to attain enlightenment. That's the title of the video, so you know what you're getting. So there are really, you can boil it down to two ways that a person attains a spiritual awakening, which is to say, in different cultures. In Buddhist culture, it's usually referred to as Nirvana. In Hindu culture, it is usually referred to as either Nirvana or Moksha. And in Zen culture, it is referred to as Satori. All of these are kind of describing the same thing, although they have their own distinguishments. And again, these things cannot be explained in words. Not in a real sense that allows you to fully understand and experience it. In the same way that describing the ocean to you and the waves crashing against the shoreline and the mist spraying in your face is a very good descriptor of what it might be like, but is not the same thing as experiencing it firsthand. These words are not capable of reaching out to you and making you experience enlightenment. It is a personal experience and is muddied by concepts and words and labels. So there are really two ways that a person achieves enlightenment. One of them is literally by accident. And the other is also by accident, but after trying a whole bunch. I don't know if that's a really great way of putting it, but the thing about enlightenment is that the more that you try to, the more that you force yourself into the effort, the conscious effort of trying to separate, or rather I should say, trying to integrate and trying to dissolve your separation from other people, the more that it's going to happen. Why? The reason, or the more that it's not going to happen, excuse me. And the reason for that is because to try to become enlightened is an egoic effort. When I say that I am trying to enlighten myself, when I'm trying to achieve moksha, when I'm trying to achieve nirvana, that is an egoic effort, because if I am trying to do something, it is because I am doing something for my own benefit. I am doing something to gain something for myself. And inherently, this is separating, you see, because when I am trying to do something for my own self, I am turning away, I am turning myself against the universe, because when I am trying to do something for myself, what I'm doing is fighting my current circumstances. I'm saying that where I am I am not happy with where I am right now. This is not satisfactory to me, and I want to be somewhere else. I don't want to be where I am. I do not appreciate the place that I'm in. I do not appreciate the energy that I am existing in right now, and I do not want to be here. I would like to be somewhere else, and now I am going to try very hard to go somewhere else. And for some people, that somewhere else is spiritual awakening. For some people, that somewhere else is enlightenment. And I'm here to tell you that if you are trying very difficult, like very, very hard, in the same way that you would try to mine for gold, or that you would try to clean your house, if you're doing that, you are not going to get there. And like I said, that is because it is an egoic effort. That is an egoic effort. And doing something out of egoic effort will not help you dissolve your ego. It will only strengthen it. So, you must be very careful. I must be very careful. Everybody must be very careful about talking about, because words are very powerful. Words have a lot of power. And you must be very careful about talking about being enlightened, talking about being awake, talking about being a spiritually enlightened person. Because it is undeniable that if you have had the experience of Nirvana, Moksha, Satori, it is undeniable that if you have had that experience, it has changed your life. It's changed mine. For this reason, we have to be very careful about the way that we speak about these things, because now this is all my opinion. Again, I'm gonna say this again because I want to be very clear. This is all my opinion. You do not have to listen to me. Okay? I'm here to really, my purpose here is I want to spread love and joy to people, and I want to spread the amazingness of the cultures that I've studied and the amazingness of the experience that I've had in the past with spiritual enlightenment. With spiritual practice, with even if you don't attain enlightenment, the feeling of walking that path, of being of putting yourself in the shoes of a Hindu, of putting yourself in the shoes of a Buddhist monk, and putting yourself in the shoes of a Zen practitioner, being able to sit down and meditate and just quiet your mind becomes beyond being able to experience nirvana. You are also, below that, you are able to quiet your mind and practice stillness and silence, and become patient and become loving, and start to disintegrate the barrier between you and other people. And this is all prior to actually obtaining spiritual enlightenment. And it's all prior to that, and it is all a beautiful experience. And so there's nothing, some people would say that talking about it at all muddies the waters a little bit, and I would have to agree to a certain extent. Yeah, it does a little bit. Talking about it, certainly painting myself as some sort of teacher to you, some sort of leader or guide, yeah, definitely muddies the water a little bit. But I still think it's worth doing. I'm not here for my own ego. I'm not here to turn myself into a leader or anything like that. It's really, the reason that I'm doing this is because these are things that I have thought about and turned over in my head since I was a child, and I finally have found a way to healthily release them, and it happened to work out for me. I mean, I know that it was really meant to turn out this way. I kind of knew that it was going to happen no matter what, but I'm kind of losing my train of thought, so I apologize, but it's difficult. There's a lot of concepts banging around in there. To get back to what I was saying, achieving spiritual enlightenment is both easy and impossible. It is easy because it can just kind of happen. We have this idea, we have this concept in our heads that spirituality is supposed to be this long and difficult trudge through all of our spiritual practices. It's supposed to take long hours of dedicated meditation and fasting and prayer, and it can, but you can also stumble upon it. I know that a few people that are watching this video right now, a few of you have just stumbled upon it. And there's nothing wrong with that. And it doesn't make it any less valid. And the reason that you stumbled upon it is because it can only be achieved in such a way, really. And the whole point of it being a long, trudging journey through hours and hours of meditation and hours of spiritual practices, that over time you will eventually just kind of integrate into that kind of lifestyle, and you'll forget what you're doing and why you're doing it in the first place. And as soon as you forget why you're doing it, it'll happen. You see? That's kind of the thing. And another part of this is that you have, I'm sure that all of you have noticed that you have this unstoppable chatter in your brain. Right? You sit down and you're alone and you're quiet and you're alone with your thoughts, and they just keep coming. And if you've ever sat down and tried to meditate, somebody has probably told you, that you need to stop your thoughts. You need to clear your mind of thought. And upon being told this, you'll realize how absolutely impossible it is to do so. And that's because you are not the one who is thinking. The thoughts are happening to you. That's why sometimes you have thoughts that you don't like, because you are not the one thinking them. You are the one observing the thoughts. The thoughts arise from your mind, from your body, intaking information. So when I go outside and I meet people and I see light, I see the trees, I walk around, I see animals, I get in my car, I drive, I see other cars passing me by, I get stuck in traffic. All of this is stimulus. All of this is stimuli. And it gets the wheels turning, you see? And the more that you input stimuli, the more that your wheels turn. And the more that your wheels turn, the more you see, you think that you are thinking. The irony is that you think you are causing the thinking, and you are not. The words, the chatter that repeats in your head is not of your origin. In a certain way. In a certain way. I know that everything is unified, but just for a second, let's think of it this way. It's not really you that is doing the thinking. You are, in the same way that you are not, it's arising from your body, but it is not from your conscious effort. In the same way that growing hair, growing a beard, breathing most of the time is arising from your body, but it's not from your conscious effort, and so too are your thoughts. And the point of sitting down and being quiet is that if you sit down and are quiet enough, you have no stimulus entering your brain. And when you have removed enough stimulus from your brain, you experience thoughtlessness. And this is a very intriguing and curious thing, because what you'll realize is that the thing that has created your illusion, in Buddhism they call it Maya. We've talked about that before. The thing that is creating your illusion is the words. It's the labels. It's the meaning. So when you're applying labels and concepts and words and thoughts to things, these are my eyes, this is my nose, behind me are stuffed animals, whatever. Those words are what create the illusion that there are things that are separate from each other. And only in thoughtlessness do you understand that, beneath these words, it's beneath these concepts that true reality exists. And to put it into words, true, unadulterated reality, without the meanings or concepts or labels attached to it, is an experience of unity. And you realize that in the end, the only reason that we use words is to communicate and inherently to separate things so that we can communicate. And that separation is just an illusion. There is not really a difference. So I thank you for being here. I just wanted to dive a little bit deeper into that. I hope that this is I know that I kind of said some similar stuff to previous videos, but I feel like I needed to dive deeper into this and be a little bit more specific and a little bit more, a little bit less vague about what it is I'm trying to say. So in the future, I will be coming out with, I'm going to be doing some more like Zen study. I do plan on going to a Zen center. There are a few of them that are nearby me, and I do plan on going there for some time to do a retreat. Before that, I plan on doing as rigorous as I can with my life situation. I want to do a rigorous Zen practice in my home. And I'll probably do a video on that, and I want to do a guided meditation as well. Now I want to say I am not like tied down to, I know I talk about Zen a lot. I love Zen, but I'm not tied down to anything in particular. This is like, if you want to call me New Age philosophy, I'm New Age. I'm all about that stuff. I'm all about vibration. I'm all about consciousness. I'm also all about Eastern traditions. I'm all about everything in a certain way. So thank you guys for being here. Thank you for listening to me talk. I hope that you gained some useful information or affirmations or confirmations, or that you are feeling the love that I'm attempting to put out to you guys. Thank you very, very, very much for being here. And I will be posting more videos soon. Thank you. Much love. And I will see you in the next video.